Good morning, as today is Sunday, we start a new week, we start a new portion, the portion of Balak, which is in the book of Numbers, chapter 22. We're holding at the end of the 40 years of the journey of the Jews in the desert. They are encamped to the other side of the Jordan, closer to Eretz Yisrael, and they're coming to the last struggles in the desert. Vayar Balak ben Tzipes, Kol asher asam Balak ben Tzipes saw everything. I say Yossi Yisrael and Modi, everything that the Jews did to the Amorites. So now she says, they said, these two kings that we were reliant on them, Leondu Faneim, they could not stand, they could not beat them. So surely Moab will not be able to beat them. Verse 3, Moab was actually afraid from this people, Kiravu, because they were numerous, Israel, and Moab became disgusted because of the children of Israel. Verse number 4, Midian, so Moab said to the elders of Midian, now this assembly will eat everything around us. Like the ox eats the greens of the field. Balak ben Tzipor melech leMoab be'Esahi, and Balak, the son of Tzipor, became the king of Moab at that time. Rashi says, Moab went to Midian, but they always hated each other. As it says, who defeated Midian in the fields of Moab. They always fought with each other. One conquered each other constantly. When Midian came against Moab to battle. However, because of the mutual fear of Israel, they made peace with each other. And what did Moab see to take counsel of Midian? Since they saw that Israel was supernatural, victorious in their battles. Look at this nation; they're coming out of slavery. They're better warriors than any of us. We have been warring our whole life. They have been in slavery their whole life. We've been warring our whole life. How's it possible these guys are leading? So they said the leader of these people was raised in Midian. Moshe Rabbeinu was raised in Midian. Said, wow, let us ask them what its character was. So they went to Midian to find out who is this Moshe Rabbeinu, the leader of the Jewish nation. And they told him in Midian that Moshe Rabbeinu is victorious with his mouth, his prayer. They said to him, we'll go up and come against them with a man whose strength is in his mouth. Let's go find a leader who's going to be able to use his mouth. Whenever the ox has eaten, has no longer contains a blessing. The Gemara says, the ox uproots the plants it eats. Its tongue has a very powerful pressure that it takes everything with it. The Esahi, at that time, really Balak was not entitled to monarchy. He was one of the Midianites' nobles. And when Tzichin died, they appointed him over them as a temporary basis. So he became a king. He became a. Sometimes some people find their greatness in hating Jews. Balak, they were looking for somebody who was a hater, and they found Balak. Yeah, Balak hated Jews. We'll make him a king now, and that's what happened. So Balak came up with the idea to go to Bilam to find a Balak was from Midian, and he became a king of Moab at that moment. They made him the leader, and he Bilam ben Beseira. So he sent messages to Bilam, the son of Be'er, Beseira, al Nahar that was living on a river. The land lived from his people. They call it, and they told him, behold, the nation has gone out of Mitzrayim. It is covered the eye of the land. And he is stationed opposite of me. The Rashi says, why is it called Peseda? What's Peseda mean? So Peseda comes from the word of like a money changer. who everyone rushes coins. So did the kings rush their letters to him. The kings were a bunch, couldn't read anything. So they used to come to Bilam, he used to read the letters. And a Meir Pseudo is a table donating a counter of which currency transactions takes place. So this is the synonymous with the word shulchan, a table. Thus the money changer is called a shulchani. Going to the simple meaning, the verse Pseudo is the name of the place. He lived in Pseudo. Eretz B'nai Ami Shal Balak. Balak sent to Bilam because Bilam was from Midian and Balak was from Midian. This one Balak prophesies, telling him, "You are destined to rule." You ask, why did God bestow his Shekhinah on a wicked Gentile, Bilam? Why did Bilam become a prophet? The Gemara answers, so the nations should not have an excuse to say, had we had prophets, we would have repented. Therefore, God gives the nations of the world prophets. So he assigned them prophets. And what did the prophets do? They breached moral acceptance barrier. The first thing that he had refrained from immorality, but Bilam advised them to offer themselves freely for prostitution. So what their prophets do is usually talk to them immorality, to do unmoral things. So that's the invitation was for him, for his benefit. He promised us great sum of money. Bilam would not go without cash. I'm Yotzim Mitzrayim, and you're going to say, what does it bother you? Sicha and Oig, who were both guardians of the land, they destroyed Sicha and Oig. And once they destroy Sicha and Oig, we're like butter. And they are, the word mimuli is missing over here above. To tell us, mimuli, they're right here. They're not that they're coming close. They're right here. They're right on top of me. So why am I calling you? Verse number 6. Come and curse these people. Because they are more powerful than me, you got to curse them. And I will chase them away. I will chase them away from the land. Because I know that those you bless will be blessed. And those that you curse are cursed. That actually says, I shall be able to wage war against them. I with my nation will wage war against them. Hence, it says it in a first person plural form. Another interpretation, it's the chay, comes from a Mishnah, a word of a Mishnah. It deduces manake for the price for him. So the meaning is here to diminish them so much. He says, I'm not going to destroy them because they're too powerful, but will diminish their power. Kiadaiti, I know through the war of Sicha and against Moav, you helped him defeat Moav through your curses. So that was the plan. The plan was to hire Bilam to curse the Jewish people with his mouth, so that will be able to weaken the Jewish nation through his curses. So the elders of Moav and the elders of Midian went with magic charms in their hands. Bilam, they came to Bilam, and they spoke to him the message of Balak. So Rashi says all types of charms. Samim is charms. So he did not say, I don't have the tools with me. Another interpretation, the elders of Midian took some omen, kesem, with them, saying, if he comes with us, so it's like a sign. They made a sign. They said, if he comes with us within this time, there's something to him. But if he pushes us off, if he says, I got to think about it, then we're not going to get him. He's not going to come. Thus, when it says to them, lodge here tonight, you'll soon see, he says to them, stay here. They say he's hopeless. So they left. The elders of Midian left. That's why only the elders of Moav stayed with him. Because the elders of Midian took a kesef, they took a sign. And they said, if he's not going to come right away, he's not going to be good for us. So the Moabite stayed with Bilam, but the Midianites elders left. So that's the word. Samim comes from the word siman, which is a sign. Verse 8, and that's what he told them. He told them, Stay with me tonight. And I'll give you the answer. Because God's going to talk to me tonight in a dream. I'm a prophet. And God will come to me in a dream and he'll answer the question. And that's what the Pasuk says. Last year's previous Pasuk. The Pasuk says that the elders of Moab stayed, the princes of Moab stayed with Bilam. But Midian left. That's just lodge here for the night. The divine spirit rests on him only at night. The same applied to the Gentile prophets. So too with Lavan. It was at night. God came to him at night. I said, Hashem, if he advised me to go with people like you, I will go with you. But perhaps it's beneath my dignity to allow me to go with anyone for high-ranking nobles than you. Maybe you're not great enough. So they stayed. Verse number 11, so God came to Bilam. He asked him, who are these men with you? What kind of question God asked Bilam? Who are these men? What do you mean? God doesn't know who they are. So Rashi says this came to delude him. You see, then the Abish asked the question. So right now Bilam said, wait a second, God doesn't know what's going on. Oh, that means I can do things that God doesn't know what's going on. If God is asking me who they are, that means God needs my information. So he said, maybe he said, oh, God doesn't always know what's going on. Ain't that Shalom? Maybe he does not interested always. So I will find a time. I'm going to find a time. Oh, so I figured out that God sometimes doesn't know what's going on. He needs me to tell him. So I will find a time to be able to curse the Jewish nation. Verse 10, so Bilam said to God, I'll tell you some important news. As Rashi says, even though I'm not important to you, but Balak, the king of Tzipar, the king of Moab, he thinks I'm important. He sent to me. Verse 11, behold, the nation has gone out of Egypt. And he covers the eye of the land. Come and curse them for me. I might be able to fight against them. And I'll send them away. So Rashi says that over here, Bilam even says more than Balak. Over here, he says a harsher word, cover. I want you to curse him in a very proactive word of cursing. So over here, Bilam hates the Jews more than Balak. The Gerashti, and he's more harsher than Olam. I'm about to destroy them. Balak, I don't like Hashem and honest. Bilam said, I want to chase them away from my place. Bilam said, I'm going to curse them. I'll destroy them from the world. So here we learn, Rashi says, that Bilam hated the Jews even more than Balak. Verse number 2. So God said to Bilam, don't go with them. Don't curse this Peachville. Because they are blessed. What is the meaning of these three statements? So Rashi says, he said to him, if so, I will curse them in my place. He said, don't go with them. So he said, okay, you know what? I won't go with them. Let me curse them here. So David says, don't curse these people. So he said, you know what? I won't curse the Jews. Let me bless the Jews. So God says, don't bless them either. They don't need your blessings either. Ki baruchu, they're blessed without your blessings. And this is an expression, actually, we say to a wasp, to a bee. I don't need your honey, and I don't need your sting. Don't give me your blessings, and surely don't give me your curses. And God says, they don't need you. That completes the Chumash of today. We are holding in the 3rd chapter of the Igeres HaTshuva, beautiful chapter that the Rebbe speaks. We ended off last week's chapter, yesterday's Chitas, that we find in the Gemara that great Tanoim fasted. The Rebbe started off in the beginning that the tshuva, the aspect of tshuva does not mean fasting. And then after that, it goes through, even though we do find fasting, but as Alter Rebbe says, it's not for the tshuva. It's really more for the concept of fasting is that you shouldn't have any. The Chachamim didn't want to have any repercussions of the sins that they did, and therefore they instituted fastings so that there wouldn't be any kind of residue of the sin and have to go through a cleansing after 120 years. And the Alter Rebbe continues. Later, the Musa sages lived in the time after the Arizal. They were divided in their opinion about one who repeated a sin many times. Yes, some say the some people say that they need a fast appropriate to that sin according to the number of transgression. So even though I did the same sin over and over and over, I need a fast. Whatever the number of fasts, I need a fast. Like Alter Rebbe said yesterday, 64 fasts, something that need 84, 82 fasts. So you need to fast 82 times, whatever the sins I've done. Example of somebody who fasts prescribed penance for wasteful emission of semen, and 8 is 84. So if he did it 10 times, he has to do it 84 times 10, even though he did the same thing. If he sinned 10 or 20 times, he needs to fast 10 times 84, and so on to all these instances. For example, when a person did a sin, by mistake, and he had to bring a sacrifice, he had to bring a sacrifice to each and every sin. Even if he did 10 sins, the same exact sins. You had to bring for each violation. Some people say no. Yes, some people say this is compared to a fat, this is compared to not a sin offering, but a burnt offering. A bomb mitzvah that comes on a positive command. Of our common mitzvah that even if a person did many didn't put on tefillin 10 days, it doesn't mean 10 oilers, it means one oiler for all the time. As it brought down in the tractate the Gemara in Zvach. And what is the outcome of this argument? What is the accepted rule? That if I did many sins, is gimel pomim kifim misparatzem dechetze. Some people didn't know the law. They came Bali Chuvas later, and now they have many sins piled up in their past. And how are they going to fast? They're going to have to fast for each sin. That amount, they'll be fasting for those. We will not eat anymore. Finish. Close down. Therefore, they came to a conclusion: you should take 3 times the number of fasts prescribed in particular sin. So, for the sin of a omission, for example, for a man, is 252 fasts, 3 times 84 for wasteful omission, and similarly to other sins oft repeated, 252 fasts. We're not. You have to do it all one time. Then you're gonna. That's almost a year. So over the years, we do anyway. Fast every year. Every year he's fasting 7, 8 fasts. Based on the teaching of the Zohar at the end of Parshas Noach, I saw as soon as a mortal man sins once against the Holy One, blessed be He makes an impression above. Should they sin the second time, the impact of a sin is even greater. The third time he commits the sin, the stains penetrates from one side to the other side. Therefore, you need to fast 3 times the amount of those fasts. We're not completed over here because the Alter Rebbe is going to continue, and you can accomplish these fasts other ways, as we're going to continue in the Chitat Hashem. Today is the 10th day of the month. Today is the 10th of the month of Tammuz, which in Chitas it's chapter 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and so 55 to 59. That completes the Chitas. You'll do the Chitas of the day. In Mitzvah at 10 o'clock, we are going to do a Tanya class. You can come at the Chabad house. We'll learn Tanya at Chabad at 10 a.m. or on Zoom. And I wish you all a beautiful, happy, and wonderful day and a wonderful week.
You too, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow at least at 8 a.m. We'll learn Chitas again. Have a great day.